Fintech firm Superstate says it's on a mission to modernize public capital markets. And earlier this week, it made a move towards that goal. The company announced a partnership with crypto exchange Backpack to bring natively tokenized public equities to centralized trading for the first time. And joining me now with more is Superstate co-founder Jim Hiltner. Jim, it's great to have you on the show this morning. Thank you for joining us remotely, all the way in San Diego. And what problem or challenge does your partnership with Backpack aim to solve for crypto investors?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's an exciting time. I mean, I think you're seeing just a general convergence of crypto capital markets and traditional securities markets. At Opening Bell, we're helping publicly registered companies tokenize their shares directly on the blockchain, not using a wrapper, and making sure that investors that are holding that token are still holding the actual equity as if they were trading it on the New York Stock Exchange. And so this week we announced a partnership with Backpack. It'll be the first centralized exchange that will list these assets. And I think there's two reasons to tokenize assets. Really, there's access and utility. And so Backpack has an amazing, vibrant user base that loves to trade and loves to invest their assets through that exchange. And so bringing them real high quality assets like publicly traded companies will help them, access more opportunities. And then on the utility side, there's a few things. It's really hard today to use your shares as collateral in traditional financial platforms, and to be able to borrow against your shares to buy Bitcoin, for an example. Backpack is going to unlock cross-margin opportunities that I think will make the investor experience really strong. And then they also have a large wallet. So any KYC user that has their shares on the Backpack exchange, if you want to be able to go into DeFi and use those shares as collateral in your favorite DeFi pool, like all of these things are happening, and it's really exciting to launch this partnership, and there's many more things to come.
More to come. We like a deep tease like that. What trends among digital asset users do you think could unfold in the months to come as a result of this deal?
Yeah, it's what you're seeing is investors in the crypto markets really are trying to keep their wealth on chain. And even Larry Fink was on earlier this week talking about tokenization really enables investors to have their financial assets meet their crypto assets or digital assets. And so I think what you're going to see is more and more interesting partnerships and opportunities like this be built, so that folks that have a lot of their wealth in their crypto native wallet that want to diversify into things like equities or money market funds or other types of financial products, these things are coming on chain that are enabling investors to keep their wealth in the ecosystem, where they're spending a lot of their time and their energy on being able to invest their assets. And so I think the convergence between these two worlds is really a great benefit. And you're going to see a lot more utility and access, like I mentioned, which will be coming up in the coming months and the coming years. And we're just on the beginning of this exciting journey.
Now, as traditional markets and crypto markets continue to collide, how do you see this new project helping those within the financial technology space?
Yeah, so it's the underlying assets are publicly registered equities that still have the same, dividend rights. If there's a stock split, you still, have all the same type of corporate actions are managed on chain. I think what it's going to allow is these platforms that have built, really strong user bases to expand the TAM that allows them to, get more and more into the financial entire portfolio of the shareholders or the investors that use their platforms. And I think, over the last couple of years, we came from the DeFi space. Our founding team came from Compound, one of the largest DeFi protocols. And what we saw was these systems are really fantastic at managing risk 24/7. 365, despite massive, volatility in crypto assets, these systems, Aave, Morpho, Compound, Uniswap, they all work really, really well. And so I think what you're seeing on the traditional side is a recognition that smart contracts, blockchain technology are really interesting ways for them to increase their resilience and their global reach. And so what you saw a couple months ago is a couple weeks ago, the NASDAQ actually proposed to have tokenized equities that have the same shareholder rights, actually trade on the order book inside the NASDAQ, same liquidity pool. And so you're seeing the infrastructure on the crypto side, the user base on the crypto side, but then the liquidity and the institutional nature on the traditional side come together to bring the financial system into the next decade.
Superstate co-founder Jim Hiltner joining us from San Diego this morning. Jim, thanks again.
Thank you for your time.